Okay, so Social Business Full Speed Ahead or Proceed with Caution by Adam Howarth. Now, first off, I wanted to say that I really enjoyed reading this article. It was interesting to hear about how social media or social business platforms, rather similar to social media, can be effectively used in a company, and was laughing at the fact that the Cake Boss guy was also in it was as well. So I thought that was pretty funny. So, so some of the main points I found from this were that social media platforms are, I think, going to be the next big thing when it comes to communicating within a business. Emails are becoming a thing of the past now. I see that in my dad's work as well. They are moving over to a new system. I believe it is the IBM Connections, actually. And these companies like IBM Connections and Salesforce CRM are allowing companies to communicate and work more efficiently with less paperwork and struggle. It is allowing groups to work as more individual rather than having to reach out to the whole company in general with mass emails, and has also allowed for just better work ethic and more communication within the jobs. So the first question was identify the management, organization, and technology factors responsible for impeding adoption of internal corporate social networks. So I didn't really fully understand this one all too well, but from what I gathered out of this was that the upper management in Bayer Material Sciences decided to incorporate the IBM Connections as their social business tool set, and this helped the smaller teams, like I was talking about earlier, collaborate without having to email these larger groups. And with this new tool also came new technology for employees to share ideas, like wiki pages, blogs, news articles, along with organization and better task management because of it, and it's more efficient as well. 50% of the employees are active in the social network, which is pretty good, and they did this through a reverse mentoring program with the younger people teaching the older people how to use the social media, which is pretty interesting. But they said that it was pretty hard to reach a conclusion about the actual percentages of what got better within the company, but it seems that there is a fast flow of knowledge along with efficiency within the company, so that is very good. In the second question, it asks compare the experiences of implementing internal social networks of the two organizations described in this case. Why were they successful, and what role did the management play in this process? So both Carlo and Bayer were successful because the manager appropriately implemented the new social networking system with a proper teaching and timing. Bayer had the reverse mentoring program with the younger people teaching the older people how to use social networking. And Carlo had little trouble with his because I am imagining a lot of people are not in their 60s or 70s, unless it's probably his parents, since it's a mom and pop shop. But both saw the benefits of the social networking almost immediately. Carlos's errors are down 30%, and the Bayer company has 50% of their employees on board while seeing a better and more efficient flow of ideas. Excuse me. Next question is, should all companies implement internal enterprise social networks? Why or why not? And I don't think every company should, because I don't think it works for every company or every group of employees, especially if it's all older folk. It's not really worth their time to do something like that. A mom and pop antique store with only 3 employees are not going to need a social networking system because it's just not needed. They're never going to use it. They're not going to understand it. It's not worth their time. But in the future, I think almost every company will be adopting this system because all of the newer generation are going to know how to use it properly and are going to use it to their benefit as well. And they're going to teach other people who don't know how to use it just as well also. So not every company should use it, but I think in the future every company will be using it. Businesses use Teams, and social businesses social business platforms to collaborate on different assignments more efficiently while also increasing productivity and decreasing error. These social platforms allow companies to digitally outperform competitors by providing better and faster services and also producing more e-commerce and money for the company. So this was kind of the good versus bad on social media. This first article on the top here was explaining how social media could improve customer relations. It talked about how you could quick respond online and some other stuff along those lines, whereas the other article was, or the other video was more bad, talked about how potential cyberbullying could happen at work, where you could send flagrant messages or emails to fellow other employees and be very rude. The thought-provoking questions that I had today are: how can it be monitored so people do not get sidetracked and sucked into the actual casual social media while at work? And how could stolen information be prevented, especially if companies have employees put sensitive information on their accounts? So the answers, if you aren't using Facebook or Twitter-based platforms and you only use the IBM connections or something similar, you could monitor the screens, the computers, and it would be easier to pick out those not working. So that was pretty simple. And a good hacker could steal definitely a lot of information, but the best thing to do other than getting a really good hacking defense system is to not have people put home address and home phone numbers or any banking and social security information. So overall, I found this article to be quite good, and I believe that new social business platforms will be very useful in the future and is only going to help more with efficiency and how things flow, but not every company needs to implement it as of now. That is all.